Okay, so...
So there's multiple routes I could take, right? Like, so, but I hear that Grace is wanting me to inquire into her world more. Okay. So tell me, how's it going for you? Like, how's your workload going right now this week?
You know, I have 4 deadlines on Wednesday. 4 different people have asked me and told me that it's a hard week. You know, after Wednesday, things start to clear up. But between now and Wednesday, I have 4 deadlines.
So I'm hearing
for
that
various people.
Actually, so you have a lot going on. So getting it done by Wednesday isn't something that is feasible for you.
Well, if you want to go talk to, I can tell you who else has asked me to get things done by Wednesday. I mean, if you can go, if you want to have a conversation with them and negotiate with them, maybe they don't need, you know, maybe for them Thursday would be okay. Maybe, you know, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can add one more thing that needs to be done by Wednesday.
Okay. Isn't there relief in knowing
Yeah,
this?
I'm noticing how much I appreciate your saying that last thing you said.
And how is it for you to say it?
Well, it feels good because it's like I'm in charge of my life again.
Yes.
You know, because I mean, what's true is I have a brain. I know what I can get done by Wednesday, and I know what my commitments are. And when I only feel like I can say yes, it's as if I don't have a brain. It's as if I'm a little puppet.
Yeah. And this way it was nice to see some sense of collaboration, like you're working on this together. It's not like do it and then she has no choice but to say yes, whether or not she can. And then she's left alone with all the juggling. And this way there's some sense of holding it together.
And the one thing I want to say is in this role play, I'm imagining that the 3 other people who've given me deadlines on Wednesday, or the 4, are all have power over me. They're higher up in the hierarchy than I am. They're where she is in the hierarchy. So I can't really go to them and negotiate those changes. She has to do that because they can do that, whereas I don't feel like I can.
Great, we're going to tackle that in a second. I want to know if there's any aha that you've had about this.
Well, the thing I hadn't realized was that Grace had so much other work going on. Like, I had no idea that there were these other people, you know, asking you to do this stuff during the same time period. So that's news to me.
And this is powerful, what is happening, because you won't find out without making room for her. Mm-hmm. So the whole dynamic of do this, and you know, I don't want to hear the details. You just get it down by Wednesday, which is the typical dynamic in the workplace. That whole dynamic prevents you from knowing the truth. Mm-hmm. Either about what is or isn't possible, the actual necessary information, it blocks it. Mm-hmm. And it also blocks the sense of camaraderie and working together. So there's something that if you change it to an invitational dynamic, then you hear more truth and you have more options for navigating what is happening. That to me is a very powerful insight. Mm-hmm. Anything you want to add to that? Mm-mm. Anything you want to add to that?
I can imagine a viewer watching this and saying, geez, that's going to take forever if every time I have to give someone, you know, a direction, that I need to stop and figure out what else they're doing. I mean, that's sort of their responsibility to figure out what else they're doing. So I'm wondering about efficiency.
So the question for me is that people often don't consider the later cost when they talk about something taking time. What's going to take more time? This little exchange, or picking up all the pieces of the disaster that happens on Wednesday that you didn't know about?
Yeah, yeah.
Which one? I'm confident that the Wednesday disaster takes much more work to deal with. That's number one. Mm-hmm. And number two is that when you do this over time, it becomes incredibly quick because you already have a rhythm of mutual support. Mm-hmm. It's not about negotiating and figuring things out. It's about
How do we
moving.
work it out?
Yeah.
And I can imagine, it'll get quicker also because there'll be more trust. She'll be able to say no
Exactly.
more easily next time
Yeah.
if this happens a bunch of times.
Yeah. Now, the piece that I want to pick up, if we're done with your end, is I want to pick up the piece on your end where you say, I am not in a position to have this dialogue with these people.
Right.
And I want to have this be as a kind of like an invitation to all the people who don't have formal authority in the workplace to recognize your own power. You can take charge of the situation without being formally in authority. You can go to any one of these people, be it Ali or anyone else, and say, I want to come and tell you that there is a crisis going on. I have, what you asked me to do, and what Ali asked me to do, and what 3 other people asked me to do, and it's not humanly possible to do all of these. I would like you to talk with your colleagues so that you can prioritize what's most important for me to focus on, so I can support you in the best and most efficient way. Which boss wouldn't be happy to hear this?
The one that was afraid to have a conversation with her coworkers about priorities.
Yeah. So it stretches onward.
Yeah.
And so if you anticipate that, you can say, would you like me to talk to the other people to help you out? And then you become an asset to the company. Would you like to practice that with Ali for a moment?
Okay. So I'll start, she's going to ask, well, assume she just asked me if I can get this done by Wednesday.
No, somebody else asked you, and you're coming to Ali.
Oh, I see.
Susan.
Yeah, so to Susan, right, Susan. Thank you. Ali is not at all a boss in that way. Okay. So you're coming to Susan.
Susan, okay. All right, okay, Susan, I just wanted to get back to you about that conversation we had early this morning, when you asked me to do this report for you. And I wanted you to know that since you asked, and I agreed to do it, and since you asked me to do it, 3 more people have asked me, and John, Sally, and Sue have all asked me for reports due by Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I can't really see me getting all 4 of them done by Wednesday. I mean, I know you know what's involved, and to do them thoroughly and accurately. So I'm thinking one of us should probably talk to the people who have made those requests, and I'm happy to do it if you'd like. I can check in with them and start to get a feeling for what people's priorities are.
So I want to support you by streamlining it a little bit. The key is that you're trying to make yourself an asset.
Right.
And so the key piece here is that you can do the reports. It's not at your level that the prioritizing gets done.
Right.
So really you are doing her a service.
Right.
By telling her that this is going on.
Right.
If you frame it like this, it changes the whole dynamic. I'm coming to tell you, I'm coming to alert you that there is a problem.
In the making.
Yes,
Okay.
I have what you asked me to do and 3 other things, and I cannot do all of them. So somebody needs to prioritize, and that's a conversation with the other people. Are you comfortable having that conversation, or would you like my support? That's how you frame it. So you frame it as support for your boss. That is what changes it from a complaint, or I can't do this, and I'm not this, and I'm handing the problem back to you, to I am coming to help you.
Right.
That's the intentionality. That's what empowerment means. It's empowerment in the service of the whole.
And with that, it's time for us to take a break. So it seems like a good spot for us to put up the call-in number once again, and we'll be back in a moment.
But it does not matter anyway.